Hey, welcome back to another video. Um, I have something special for you today. Well, for the sci-fi fans of you out there, I know a lot of my subscribers and people who watch this video are looking for the historical content like the Napoleonics or the Ancients, and that's fine. I have plenty of that to show. But I thought I would change it up today, and I would show something a little different, something sci-fi from a very popular IP, and that is Halo Fleet Battles. Now, Halo Fleet Battles, unfortunately, is no longer around as an official game. You can still get into it, but Spartan Games, the maker of the game, they're defunct, they're gone, they're bankrupt. More's the pity. And this is one of the top three games in my collection. It actually might be number one, but the Blucher rule set is really good, and it'd be hard who's number one, who's number two, but it's definitely 100% within the top three because I might be forgetting something. But if you've never seen the Halo Fleet Battles figures or the rule set, and you're into sci-fi wargaming and spaceship gaming, if you like Babylon 5 the fleet battles from that show, or Deep Space Nine, or any of those type of Battlestar Galactica type gaming moments or visual moments, Halo Fleet Battles might be the game for you. Now, I'm not going to lie, finding the rules may not be that easy, but the miniatures you're starting to with the popularity of 3D printing, you're starting to find the miniatures out there. So you might be able to scrape something together. But for today, what I have to show you is my forces for this game. Now, this game, I can't say enough good things about it. It is a fantastic game. The people who designed this game at Spartan Games, I don't know. It's a winner in my book. I can't really explain it to you. You'd have to see if you've ever played Dystopian Wars or any of the previous Spartan games. It has a lot of elements from that, but it also has a really cool meta force building concept where you have a formation value of 6, and a fleet is built out of several of these formations, and the largest formation can have a point value of 6. So for instance, I'll just show you here on this Covenant base. Down here you have this 2. That means this base of ships, there's 3 ships on it, is 2 points, and you can have 3 of those in a formation equaling 6. And also you can have on the UNSC side, you can have this heavy cruiser with 2 frigates escorting it, and it's 4 points. So you can have one of these and then another 2-point unit or 2 1-point units. And you just keep going around building these formations until the point value is reached. And that's how you have your fleets. That's how you have basically your forces. And then the game revolves around a you go, I go system where I activate a formation, then you activate a formation, and vice versa until everyone has activated. And you throw in this game buckets of dice. I mean, it has like a dice pool mechanic for your offensive dice or for your attacking, and then it has a dice pool mechanic for your defensive shields and armor and whatnot. And you're just constantly throwing dice, and because of the way the game is, you're constantly removing stands. So the game starts off with a mass amount of ships on the table, and then within a couple of turns, there's less and less and less until there's only a few critical ships left. And you also get fighters and bombers and boarding actions, and you get abstract Spartans or elites attacking capital ships and trying to blow up the core inside them, and a lot of little fun thematic narrative moments, and it's all built into this system, and it does a really good job. And I have played this game and brought this game to 2 conventions so far, and everyone loved it that played it, at least. And I always get asked, how do I get into this game? How do I get into this game? Well, unfortunately, that's the hard part. Because Spartan went defunct and Microsoft did not release the license to this, you can't officially get this stuff anymore. And for me, I'm lucky enough. When this game came out, I was so hyped for it, I bought 4 starter sets. So I have 4 sets of the rule books. You know, I have a lot of figures, and I'll show you here in a second. It's been 5 minutes, but there's no point in me showing off the miniatures for this game without giving you a sense of why I bought so many figures for this game and why this game is probably one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. I'm going to start by showing you some of the figures first on like an individual basis, and then I'll show you the fleets that I've collected in a second. So just hang tight here while I just move that out of the way, and I'll move in some of the ships. So here's an example of some of the ships that you get. That's a Paris class heavy frigate. This is a Marathon class heavy cruiser for the UNSC, the human faction. And this is a carrier for the human faction. Now there are other ships. There are defense platforms like this Mac cannon, looks like a giant gun. There's those, and then there's other ships bigger and better. And for the Covenant, you get ships like this. This is a heavy destroyer, I think, for the alien forces. You get these little ships. You get if you ever play the video game, you get some of these. Now, I have a lot of clear coat on these to make them shiny, so they might be too shiny on camera here, but you get those types of ships. You get the CCS type ships. You know, the very distinctive video game. They're in almost every video game of Halo. You see these ships. And that is just an example of some of the ships that you get. And if I can get in close here, some of the detail that are on these prints, or these resin. This is resin. A lot of it is plastic. Now, these aren't painted extremely well. I had a really hard time getting the purple for these ships correct. And then everything glows, like this silver ball here, it glows, so that's as best as I could do for that. You know, you get the little ships here. They're way too shiny. They're not near shiny in real life as the camera's making them out to be, but you know, ooh, that's bad camera work. Oh, lots of great detail there. I tried to paint the windows as best I could, just to give the ship a sense of scale. What I love about the human ships, or the UNSC ships in this, is they all look like guns, space guns, with a ship kind of built around them. Here's a Marathon heavy cruiser. Looks kind of like a pistol right there. And then just engines strapped to the back of it. And around the gun is built like areas where crew would be there to man it. And here's a Paris class frigate, and these are really tiny. It always reminds me of like a Magnum pistol or revolver. So that's some of the ships there. I'm just going to pause it here and set up my camera so I can show you the fleets that I have. Just back in a second. So here is the Covenant fleet. It's about 110 ships. I do have more unpainted. I have lots more unpainted. But if I get in close, you can see the two flagships there. And that was just for like I bought 2 of them for my convention game, just so that those lots of stuff on the table. The actual bases here, like, they have all the stats of the game that you need to play the game. You know, we got lots of heavy cruisers, light cruisers, frigates, destroyers. 110 ships in total. And then over here, we have the human faction in their gray primer colors. So here's the carriers, the defense platforms. There's 4 of them in the fleet. Then you get the squadrons, or the formations. And this is what I was talking about, where you build your ships into formation. So here you have a lot of little frigates and a heavy cruiser. And then you can just have all frigates, which is a really powerful formation, but brittle. You know, you can have dual heavy cruisers on a base. You know, 2 cruisers and 2 frigate bases. There's a super heavy cruiser there, a Valiant. Some destroyers. The Punic, the capital ship for the human faction, the Punic class carrier. more cruisers, super heavy cruisers, and frigates. And that's around 175 ships. So in total, you know, I've got over, I think it's about 279, 280 ships that I have. And then, oh, they are really purple. Wow. In real life, they're not near as shiny. I don't know. I think it's my lighting is making them look really shiny. You can barely see them. But I mean, that's what I have. Just currently moving my basement, cleaning my basement. So there's a lot of litter there in the background, but it is what it is. So that's it. That's the Halo Fleet Battles collection that I have. Painted 280 ships. There's a few ones I don't have the stands for yet. And before I go, if you're interested in getting into this game, I'm just going to show you off some of the 3D printed things that I found on Shapeways or printed myself. Okay, hold on one sec. Okay, sorry for that bad cut. If you are interested in getting into this game and you don't know where to start, there is the option of 3D printing. And I just decided to show off here a few of the models that I didn't make myself or print myself. I had these printed and made for me by members. There's the Halo Fleet Battles Facebook group that you can get a lot of stuff information from. But these are the official models, and here's some of the, well, sorry, big hands. Here's the official models, and here is the no-name models that I've sourced. And you can see, if you look at the super heavy cruiser for the UNSC, someone has made almost the same looking thing, just a little smaller. So you have a lighter version of it. This really cool rounded off, like, it looks like a whale version of it. And then you have this big gigantic version. And this to me is more like a super heavy cruiser than this. This is not that much bigger than a regular Marathon. Well, maybe a little bit bigger. But I mean, if you are interested in it, there are these models around. There are also new style ships. You know, here's a Paris frigate. And this is really small. You can even get these little things, whatever the heck they are. I'm going to zoom in there. They look like shuttlecraft, to be honest. And if I can just show you on the base, you know, just take this Paris frigate off the base, you can put them on there and they fit. Well, maybe they don't fit. Well, they do. Just gotta. But they do have the little peg there, the little hole to go on the peg. I can't make that work right now. I gotta clean out the hole there a little bit. There's a little bit of resin in there. That was a bad example, but I mean, you still have access to this game if you really want it. And the reason why I even bother showing anyone or telling anyone this thing is because the rules and the game are amazing. I mean, you have to try it. Maybe it won't be your cup of tea, but for me personally, it's one of the top 3 games, to me personally, ever made. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Just trying to show off more of my collection. You know, not the best video format, but it's not a professional gig here, if you know what I mean. So I'm doing what I can, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.